Greetings and welcome into Ankh Plays. Thanks for joining me here in Zuntergempish, Anvilseal, our capital of the Tapered Irons. And as I spread my notes out here, so that I can continue to focus on all the different things that we're trying to do at the same time in this fortress, I can't help but notice that we do need to acquire a few more names for our next wrestling dojo for some of our dwarves. Now, right now we're, as you can see, on level number 123. This isn't going to help us find dwarves, by the way, but it is going to help us kind of expand our hold below what I believe is the third cavern layer. And I'm noticing over here as well that there is these semi-molten rock, which means you can't cut this. I haven't actually dealt with this in the game, but this is actually below the volcanic level, right? This is the main volcanic chamber here that feeds both Nashtath and Idgim. And just kind of looking through it, you can see that at minus 119, it begins to separate and take the shape of the two volcanoes that we see on the surface. But down here, this has got to be the magma sea. Okay, so we've got our shaft that runs all the way down through here. And one of the things that I'm thinking about here is, as you can see, we definitely have a miner that's coming down here to carve out this little area at the base of the stairs. We've got the downstair on each one of these tiles, but we don't have a way to actually get down and create the upstair here, because this is all, you can see if I mouse over the right area where we've discovered it, it says semi-molten rock. And of course we've got our miner down here, Cyril. We've got 3 mischievous creatures. We should probably pause and see what that is all about as well. You'll notice that I managed to restore DF hack when I did the computer change. I thought I had everything set up properly, but it turns out that I didn't. So here we are, and we only had to go through one episode of that. But we'll let the dwarves get this carved out. I'm actually going to expand this a little bit. We'll just direct them to go out a little bit further. Let's make this a little bit, you know what? Let's make it a little bit larger even still. And this will just give us some space to work with down here. I've been thinking about, between episodes, what I'm going to do or how I want to handle some of the threats that come up from this area. And for those of you that have played Dwarf Fortress extensively, you know exactly what I'm talking about. My philosophy on this is that if you're watching up to 77 episodes, or you're joining in for episode number 77, I'm going to just warn you right now that the rest of this playthrough is going to contain, it's going to contain plenty of spoilers. There's lots of places on the internet where you'll get the non-spoiler version of this. I'm just going to do the spoilers, and as I talk about it, I might use some of the colloquial terms, but for the most part, I'm just going to call things what they are. And we know that there's hell down here. We know that bad things come up, clowns and come up for and you know, whatnot. So just as a fair warning. Now, I did mention at the beginning of the episode that we want to add some folks to our next wrestling squad. And that's true, but I'm also going to start looking for researchers. And these are dwarves that would be able to do any of the research tasks, perhaps write books. And I know that I'm probably not using the right term for them, but these researchers or writers or what have you are going to be critical for expanding our library. Obviously, there's a few ways that we can expand the library, but we do want the dwarves, once we get to this point, to have, or once we get the library up and running, to have the opportunity to write their own books. Okay, so we've got this taken care of. We do have these mischievous creatures, and let's see where they're at. So these are in the first cavern layer. And these are like naked mole dogs. And then we have a whole bunch of troglodytes down here. How would these guys manage to get into the fortress? Okay, so they would be just rocking right up to this door here. Let's keep an eye on what they decide to do. They're kind of running around, not really doing much. Oh, you know what? The trogs are actually confined to this area here. Now they could still possibly get down. There's not a lot of good ways for them to climb out of the area that they're in. But we do have these, yeah, okay. So they're at the south end of the map. We just have to be careful of that. I don't think that these guys are necessarily going to be a threat. But if they do get into the fort, I don't think we're going to have any problems carving them up. Okay, so back down here. Looks like Moses is headed up. Cyril and Domus, though, are doing their best to get this area cleared out. That's very, very, very hard rock, too. I'm kind of wanting to keep an eye on them in this area as well, just simply because I don't know what I'm going to find here. I don't have a lot of experience digging this deep. And yeah, so here's some semi-molten rock right here. So that's going to get canceled, as we expected. Wormstone located. Okay. We are very close to, I guess it would be the mantle of the Planet of Souls. A Planet of Soul. Not Souls. Which is the world name. And they're just about done clearing this out, and as uneventful as that was, I'm actually quite thankful for that. Lots of mole dogs that have come out now. This might be a situation where we decide... Excuse me. This might be a situation where we decide that we are going to wall this area up. It would not surprise me. Here's another elite Marks dwarf. Sarvish is going after a steel battle axe. That's like one thing away from a name. Now this is a exploratory shaft, if I remember properly, that we put in. And of course it's locked out from the surface. But this drops all the way down to, of course, the first cavern layer and then continues. And I think we actually got some information about, yeah, the third cavern layer here. Actually pretty extensive information in the southeastern side of our territory. Even all the way down past the water, and we made a landing here at -110. I don't think I want to actually do anything with that because it doesn't really make sense right now. But as we have been continuing to connect these tunnels here where we've got, you know, golden walls and whatnot, it's probably a good idea to start exploring out more of the map. Okay. So we're still looking for that second cavern layer, you guys, and I have no idea where we're going to find it. I find it extraordinarily weird that... So the first cavern layer ends here on -11. And then the second cavern layer should be between -11 and -80 is where it looks like it is. And so that leaves us a lot of places to look that we really haven't looked. And it's kind of weird that we've got this thing that goes all the way down, like this, crevice, or whatever you want to call it. It goes all the way down almost to the third cavern layer. But I think that we need to go to -20, and we need to start ordering some exploratory tunnels. And we're going to make these at priority 4. And we're just going to drag them out. I won't go all the way to the volcano, but we're just going to start. Level 20 might be a little bit too far. Or might not be far enough. Excuse me. And we're just going to run some exploratory tunnels and see what we can find. And then we're going to do the same on level 30 as well. We'll take the exploratory shaft off here, though. I guess what I could do if I was being smart about this is we'll zoom out just a little bit. That's going to help this immensely. We'll then drop down to -40. We'll keep the miners busy. This might actually be busy work more than anything else, you guys. I don't know. And we'll connect that as well. And if these searches don't render any fruitful information about the cavern layers, the second layer, then I'm going to conclude that we don't have one on this map. And we'll cease to look for it. Because these are pretty substantial. Mining tunnels. The thing that we're making is a mining tunnel. Onk. Let's go ahead and expand that out, I suppose. Stretching out in the cardinal directions. that should be good enough for now, because then we start breaking into the third layer here. Now this cave spider that's blocking a door there, we definitely want to take care of that. We'll just go down here and check on these trogs. Gosh, there's quite a few of them. I don't know how we would get to them aside from... I guess we would just have to dig a tunnel, hey? Like... Hey. We're starting to see a lot of more... A lot of more? We're starting to see many more children being born in the fortress as well. Not going to say that Anvilseal is a family-friendly fortress, because I seriously doubt that. If you go down to the Hall of Remembrance, there's a lot of things that would point to otherwise. But, yeah. Cogsack Root Shield has given birth, and this is her second child. Young woman at 23. And, oh, Tosid, yes, he was also born in the fortress. Yeah, this is he was born back in episode 69 with the bad audio. Tosid was Scaly Rope there, Mr. Scaly Rope. And now we have Degel, Mebzuthigath. Mebzuthigath? No idea. Let's find out. Let's meet the new little baby here. Good intuition, a brawler, not lustful and thoughtless, low stamina, and poor focus. Gagaba, she says. She knows her brother, her older brother, and her father, who is, I believe, the fortress surgeon, and then, of course, her mother. Rainbow worshiper, Udar. Welcome. Welcome to the fortress, little Daggle. That's exciting. That's very exciting. So her second child, we can check in on Tosid as well. He's 1 year old. He's playing with the granite puzzle box right now. Or yeah, that's what he's doing. Yes, indeed. He feels love after gaining a sibling, which is a nice thing. He's actually made a few friends, it looks like. Or at least passing acquaintances as a 1 year old. I'm just curious now, because this is something that I haven't looked at in a while. But let's go down to the very bottom here and see how many children we are running. Oh my gosh, there's a lot. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 or 19, so we're getting close to 20 kids in this fortress. That's a lot of children. And, yeah, not super excited about that. It's definitely something that we're going to have to keep an eye on. It's a lot of children. Tosid is heading into... This is the Miners Guild. You interested in becoming a miner there, Tosid? Maybe he's just playing with puzzle boxes. All 20 of these children probably don't have much of a choice, at least in terms of what type of toys that they play with. Okay, so this was going to be the area that we were going to start clearing out our library for. And I haven't actually worked out exactly where I want to put the library. I'm thinking it's probably going to be in the north, but I'd like this building to be. I'd like this building to be in an area that makes sense. I'd like it to be regal. I'd like it to have at least a multi-story structure. And so it looks like if we're going to put it in this area that we're going to need to like drop this entire level down one. And what I mean by that is we'll probably carve this area out next. So once we've gotten level 53 kind of carved out to our satisfaction, then we're going to go ahead and channel down and give ourselves an additional layer just for the fun of it. Somehow we got visibility on this. I don't know how we did, but now we're going to be getting those mischievous or thieving mischievous creature notifications by DF hack. All right, so for this episode, I also want to go through, if I can stop jumping around here, and I want to start getting rid of. I'm just going to go through these these houses one by one at this point. And we're going to get rid of all of the clothing that is no longer useful. Like this dwarf. And this might be a little bit tedious, so I'm only going to do... Gosh. I'm only going to do 1 or 2 at a time. And we'll start on the ground floor. This dwarf has gone through a lot of clothes. My goodness. Whose room is this? Ashmaker. And we'll just get the ground floor of Micah Alley taken care of today. That one's fine. My goodness. So many clothing items. Part of me thinks that these dwarves have been a little bit wasteful, but if we're talking about... There was an acknowledged bug where dwarves were going through clothes at a breakneck speed, and they finally have fixed that. Which means that we definitely overgrew our textile industry, making all of these clothes. I mean, look at all this. This is for one dwarf. Or maybe this is a family here. Gosh, I hope this is a family. Those socks are alright. Alright. Yeah, Sealub and Melville. Wasteful. Well, not wasteful. And what we're going to do is we're dumping this by the front door to slowly just clean up some of the items that are scattered all over in the fortress. And once those items kind of get cleaned up, then we're going to change our dumping ground. In fact, I do want to create eventually a trash chute. That needs to be dumped. I think I had them dump some. I think they grabbed one thing that was not supposed to be dumped, but that's all right. But yeah, we definitely do need to make a trash chute, and then we're just going to have to change when that trash chute gets used. If that makes sense. But the reason that we want these dumped is, of course, so we can trade them, and we're not destroying masterpiece collections, and we're also not, by extension, just absolutely tanking the moods of our clothers, who get a bad thought every time one of their masterworks is destroyed. So what we do is we take our dirty clothes and we send them on to some other place. And we just tell the clothiers, hey, your masterwork has gone to a farm upstate. Don't worry about it. It's fine. This person clearly has a cabinet full of used and worn clothing. Gosh, I'm so glad they fixed that bug. Even though we do have a absolutely massive production for this stuff now, I think we've got it limited, so they're not just churning stuff out as quickly as they possibly can anymore, which is good. Excellent. Okay. That's all that I want to do for this episode with that. We've got the clothing industry limited, so I think that this problem will become much less of a problem, but we still have probably thousands of items that need to be disposed of in the proper way. And then we're going to have to feed that through our trading setup. That's why we're having the dwarves come out here and dump things in this area. And you can see there's just tons and tons and tons of stuff. So eventually, once we've got enough of this set up here, we'll take this, we'll unlock it, we'll unforbid this stuff, and then this is just going to be like a dirty clothes dump. Also, we did a whole bunch of work on some more of our first cavern layer projects. I saw a sock here. Let's get rid of that one. Let's keep the fortress part of this area clean, you guys. This is a common area, so just, you know, some decency here would just be really appreciated. Another Elunite pedestal that I didn't put down. There we go. Yeah, so our first cavern layer projects have not completed. We're not done down here by any stretch of the imagination. But I'm noticing that this is ready to open up. Aside from these two little cave spiders that are kind of going to have a bad day here, but that's all right. Once the game completes its save and we've made sure that we know all of the notifications aren't things that we need to tend to immediately, which it's kind of looking like they are, we're going to go ahead and crack this thing open, and we are going to drain the first layer of this lake. And it's been a long time coming, if I'm being honest. Year 66, and we're draining our lake. I guess we're going to call it Gold Lake. I don't know why I didn't think of that before, but, you know, we're draining Gold Lake. That's what's happening. And that's going to give the miners an immense amount of work to do down here. We're also going to have to build some stuff out over here. And I think what I want to do is, let's look around in this area to see if there's anything worth going after. Not immediately. I mean, there's some cassiterite, there's some basic iron-bearing materials here, but I think that just building a wall across here, kind of clearing this area out, like there's some tourmaline here, that would be nice to get. But clearing this area out is probably going to be our best bet. And then we can actually pop this wall down as well, and then we've, you know, secured a bit more of the cavern. Okay, so, yes. Let's focus, Ankh. We want to channel this stuff out at priority number 1. And yeah, there we go. That's going to do her right there. We've got a miner that's committed to it already. That's something we need to take care of. Oh, okay. Oh, dear. We kind of need a pet cemetery out here and a better place for our animals to graze. I don't know where that's going to end up being. Because I've kind of grazed all of this area out. And we've got another thing over here that's been dead as well. And hasn't been found dead. How come this hasn't been seen yet? So I feel like if it's been given a name, it's... Oh, you know what? There we go. That's right. Can't. It has to be enclosed. Okay, let's make a coffin for this turkey. A place where the turkey can be buried. Actually, that's kind of inefficient, isn't it? I have no idea what I'm doing, you guys. That's much better. That actually might not work, now that I'm looking at it. Yeah, let's try this. I'm nothing but I'm nothing if not more than more adventurous. Let's take one of these squads that's on duty. Why don't you guys station over here real quick? Let's find this turkey. Okay, we'll cancel the order. The guinea cock. Excuse me, it's not a turkey. Cancel that order, and we can close the squad menu now. Not any dwarves go in here. Put one more door here. I forgot about this one. I guess this stuff just gets old and dies after a while. Like, I didn't remember seeing anything that was like, hey, this thing is old and dead now, or it's starving. I didn't see any notifications like that, so oh, hey, and you know what? I totally forgot. We got to get back down to our excavation here. Oh, the water did start moving through. We have 2 more spaces to open up, but look at that water pouring through. That's great. Great news. Looks like we got some tetrahedrite. This lake is going to take a while to drain, just because of some of these larger areas here that haven't been carved out. So the water's got to go through some pretty narrow channels. What are you doing down here? Oh, you're trying to gather the... silly dwarf. How are they getting down here? Okay, so they're going through the hatch. That's fine, I guess. I don't think there's a lot of danger. Oh my gosh. Another birth. Let me finish my thought. I don't think there's a lot of danger of dwarves drowning in this particular scenario because they're just going to be fighting. So it might be actually worth it to, at least for the time being, forbid these items so that we don't have continuous job cancellation on trying to pick these things up. The water is eventually going to drain. Once the water drains, then we can go down there and unforbid things and kind of let the dwarves do what comes naturally. But for now, let's lock that door. And we'll forbid those items. Asmel. Where are you at? I'm guessing right here. Yes, the glassmaker. Asmel Workpack. What a great name. Do some Shagos. And Edsel is her child. Stukos Doordrank. That's a great name, too. Let's meet the little tyke. This is her first child. And it is Edsel. Man, that's quite the name. Whimswhipped. Ken Bomrek. That's actually almost easy to say. Disdains nature and commerce. Thrill seeker. He's also hateful. Recovers quickly and tough. This generation of children is going to be a bit of a handful, you guys. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be a bit of a handful. There's definitely some concern that I'm trying to share here. I've seen hateful come up in multiple descriptions for some of the children that we have. Let's see. Edsel is a Fesh worshiper. Of course, he knows his father and mother. He'll be the oldest, or she, I'm sorry, will be the oldest for this dwarven family. No skills yet, of course. Let's take a look at the personality. We're coming up to a 10% number of children, most of which are born in the fortress at this point. So, back to work, Asmel goes. Lots of sparring because it is Granite. He's showing off the baby. Hey! And, yeah, this is an episode for kids, I guess. Aerith, Thekuttrag, has become a dwarven child. So no more baby for Aerith. She says, I'm going to do my own thing, Mom. Logum, her... I don't know how I didn't notice this a while ago. But both father and mother are Logum. Aerith book clap. She's going to go get her equipment. She's going to put on some clothing. Some dwarf-sized clothing. We'll just watch her for a few minutes here. Sweet kid. She's going to play now, which is great. She's a bit overconfident. We'll see how that fares for you, dear. Let's make sure that this is still... Oh, hey, this thing is really kind of making it across into no man's land, I guess. Those are troglodytes down here. This is where the troglodytes live, apparently. Okay, lots of people that are still going down into the lower shaft. And we've got this area carved out. Let's put some floor over this just to keep it secure. We've got this hatch locked, but we haven't done the flooring yet. And so let's do that just to kind of keep this area secure, like I said. Never can be too careful. And then let's take a look at our shaft here. We've got plenty of places to take a look at. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. Actually, I'll zoom out quite a bit. So it looks like the shaft on 20 is going well. I wouldn't expect us to find much here, but we're going to find some, most likely just some stuff we can harvest, some resources that we can go after. Shaft on 30 is making decent progress. I'd still say it's in the early development stages. Nothing on 40. Nothing on 50. I'm guessing that everything else is going to be exactly as we left it. And that is for sure the case. And that's all done. Okay, excellent. We'll zoom back in. So we're still looking for that. Still looking for the second cavern layer, obviously. I didn't really expect us to get too much progress on that, so... This area has actually come out rather nicely. And I think I'm actually going to have them start digging a little bit more. Just making sure that we didn't do anything crazy there. But I think I want to carve this out so it's 2 layers deep, which is going to mean that this is going to be a mass excavation. I just have to make sure we don't cut into the volcano here. And that will delay our second cavern layer, but we are basically trying to put together a place where we can have a library. And so that's what this effort is really going into. This seems safe. It's a lot closer. It's a little bit easier for them to gather materials, dig out and gather materials from this section of the map. Especially given it's much closer to the surface and where all of our industries are at. And I'm not entirely sure why I'm doing this. Mainly because I'm kind of focused on it right now. So I don't want to give them an order to mine something and then, you know, completely forget that I did that. I'll just leave some space there. That's clear garnet, but that does open us up to the outside, so we're just going to leave it at that. That looks good right now. Let's make our way around this way as well. And maybe there'll be other things besides the library that get built. In this area of the fortress. I don't know yet. I just don't know yet, you know? It's got to be like a, you must build 3 of these or orders here. Yep. I knew it was. Crystal barrel. All right, let's find out what His Excellency wants us to build. 3 more gauntlets. I kind of don't want to build them out of iron anymore, so we're going to build them out of copper. I think it's 3 that he wanted, right? It's amazing. I have such short-term memory, I can't even remember. There we go. That's a large project. And then once we're done with this, what we're going to do is we're just going to dig down one more layer. And because Noshtath and Idgim here are pretty much the same, they're pretty uniform across all of this, it won't be a big deal for us to do that, but we're going to have to do it carefully based on this area of the map, because these tunnels here, if we start channeling down and we channel in the wrong spot, we can cause a rather substantial collapse. So I'm going to be paying attention to that, and we'll definitely wait until we've got this entire area clear before we begin channeling down. Let's check on our water. Let's check on our water project. What are you going off? He's hauling gold nuggets. Oh, gosh. Here's a wheelbarrow there, buddy. So the lake is slowly draining. Gold Lake is slowly draining. This is great news. Now, there is this part that won't drain, obviously. We need to figure out a different way to do this. And I don't know what I want to do with it, if I'm honest. Actually, what might be fun is to carve a outlet in through here. I like that idea. We can drain the lower part of the lake. Yeah, let's do that. I like that idea. That's great. So we're going to carve an outlet pipe here. And it's going to connect up here and go around a little corner. We don't need this extra here. Just make it nice and rounded, right? And then up here, we can basically just dig down, cut into this thing, and yeah, we'll just do another channel, and then we can drain that part as well. But yeah, this is taking a lot longer, or, well, I don't know. I was kind of expecting it to take a while, so that makes perfect sense. But yeah, now we have an additional plan there. We can't actually have them start carving this out unless we unlock this door. Let's make this door passable. And just make sure that everything over here is forbidden. It looks like we did a good job of... Whoops. Looks like we did a good job of that. So... yeah, not super worried about that. I think that'll be good. This is still a water source. And I'd like to find a way to get a water source here in the first cavern layer that we can then use for industrial purposes. That's like a long-term play, though. I don't know when that's going to happen. It'll be a while. Oops. Okay, one other thing that I want to do, which this is progressing nicely. We still have some 7s over in this area, but they're actually starting to lose consistency. So it'll take, I'm guessing, a year or 2 for this to drain to the point where we can actually get down in here and work. But we have the miners doing a whole bunch of really cool stuff. I do want to look at our children once again. Junior, he's currently asleep. We're going to watch him sleep for a minute. And yeah, he's 15 years old. It's been a while. But Junior he's going to grow up, and I think he's going to be one of the first children in the fortress that grows up. This is one of the first children that, was born in the fortress 15 years ago. You'll recall Id, his father, sacrificed his life to help build a wall to prevent the lava that we had accidentally cut into from Noshtath, and almost flooded the residential hall. And this kid is actually doing really well. And he's playing with a granite puzzle box. Your days of that are numbered there, Junior. I hope you're ready. The king wants us to build some other things. A little concerned. Let's look at our manager. It seems like it takes a while for this manager to be... He might be busy. It's what I think is happening. Because it is Talanist, and he's in the military. I'm contemplating stripping Talanist of those skills, of that job, just because being in the military makes it difficult to handle all of the jobs that you would need to do, to approve all of the jobs. Let's take a look at who might be a better alternative. We're not going to actually press the go button on that. We have a lot of dwarves in the military, and I guess organizer is the skill that you need for this. We could make someone who has no skills in it. I mean, Talanist is clearly the best for the job, but maybe Nomal is the better choice here. Let's see. Let's meet Nomold Zuntirad. We have the ability to be picky at this point. She's a pretty happy dwarf. She's a legendary brewer, legendary engraver, legendary organizer, great stone cutter. She's a good teacher, conversationalist, dabbling fighter. She in one of our squads? No, she is not. She does have a pet guinea cock. She wants martial training. Okay, well, at very least... Whoops. Oh, we're never going to find her again. She's down here. At the very least, she should be part of this squad. Of our second wrestling squad. Noble Anvil Tunnel. She wants to wander, she wants to be with family, she wants martial training, she wants to fight, be with friends, and pray to Udar. Lots of passing acquaintances, but just one friend. Came from the Hall of Turquoise, okay. Very humble, not inherently proud of her talents and accomplishments. Active imagination, isn't particularly ambitious. Unbreakable will, great musical sense, good memory, good spatial sense, ability to focus, good creativity, sum of patience. Oh gosh. What a wonderful dwarf. What a wonderful woman. Okay. She seems like a great choice. She is a brewer right now. And so she would have to no longer take that role. And part of me kind of thinks that maybe this is a good thing. We'll give Talanist a little bit less work to do. Let's take a look at... He's leading a biting demonstration right now, and he's actually pretty happy. He does want to make merry and craft an object. I think we're going to do it, you guys. I think that Talanist is going to take a break from the manager position. It's just extra responsibility. He's done a tremendous job of it so far. But we're going to give Nomel Nomel the manager position. Nomel Anvil Tunnel will be the new manager, and she has been assigned. We need to give her her study. I believe the manager's office is up here. She is now the manager. And she now has a manager's office. Perfect. And let's see. So that's a good thing. What do I want to do next with that? Oh, that's right. It's going to cause a change in our brewers. I only want you to do assigned tasks. Hopefully, she'll be able to pray to Udar. And then I've added her to our second squad. Which, you know what? We may as well set that second squad up. There's 3 of them. That's more than enough, right? We'll set them up right now. In the Northeast Barracks. No uniform. It's going to be black symbol on a white background. And we'll go with 2 dots, because this will be the second squad. I think it was squad 2. Train... Oh, boy. We'll call this training squad 2. We'll assign a leader. And it's going to be... We're just going to go with Ral. And I have Ral Bridgebrands here. Gosh. What is her actual real name here? It's not Grip Theater. Must be Saziris. She's the bone doctor, yeah. Then this is be Cyril. She's a miner. And then Nomel, who's our new manager. Okay. So our second squad is now in the process of getting created. Go back to squads here. And let's go to schedule. And training squad 1 does quarterly training, so training squad 2 will do quarterly training as well. Okay. Excellent. I like that. We might have to back that off to, like, bi-yearly training, but that's a problem for another day. Another visitor. Yeah, it's a tier. That's fine. Okay. That's looking better. We've got our second squad created. We've changed out our manager, so hopefully those jobs get approved quicker. We definitely don't want our king forgetting those demands. And we might take Nomel, and she might be manager for a very limited amount of time based on how much training is actually happening. Checking our water. Look at that. It's coming along nicely. I don't think that there's a source here. I guess we'll find out. Whoops. It's slowly creeping. It's slowly creeping towards the exit. It's going to be a while, though. Definitely will be a while, which is fine. And our area here of the library, for our library, is actually starting to look really nice. You can zoom out just a little bit and kind of see the progress that the dwarves are making here. Lots of stone hauling. Lots of movement, lots of gem gathering here. I did forget. I don't want to forget. That we do need to go ahead and replace that brewer, which was a legendary brewer, so Bomrek Bardumanam. He's a talented brewer. He doesn't have any other jobs in the fortress. That's 3. Shall we take on an apprentice? I kind of feel like maybe we need to do 4. We've got 200 dwarves here, you guys. So, you know, it seems like we could have 4 brewers, right? Let's take one of these dwarves that has some experience with brewing, but doesn't actively do it, like Datan Dojikivar, Dogik Vukar. Yeah, that's fine. You're now a brewer. Congratulations. We have 3 cooks who are all legendary. I think it's time to also, while we're uh, while we're recruiting people, yeah, let's take Grovod here. We have 2 carpenters. He's proficient. I don't want to use a military dwarf for that job, though. So we'll take one of these others. We'll take Boulder Throw as a second carpenter. We have, whoa, we have a lot of clothiers here. So this is labor 4, and labor 6 is a siege operator, so we could actually take him off. We don't quite need so many clothiers. In fact, we have a lot of them. Both of these got, man, they should really be better at beekeeping. Not gonna lie. Plenty of siege operators. We should probably do some siege operator training as well. Whole bunch of millers here. I'll take him off of weaving. Is removing regular dwarves here. And we, oh, I forgot about Siggs. Yeah, we need to have Siggs do some more statues for us. He's a skilled blacksmith. I want him to gain some more levels in that. Let's go down there and keep that going. So we can do some metal statues. Siggin's Forge. And we've got a whole bunch of lead statues here. Let's do this. Okay, let's make a work order. We'll make some lead statues. And yeah, just make 10 of them. Yeah. I wish you could tell if those lead bars were in buildings or, in other creations. We'll get Sigyn busy again. Gosh, I can't believe I forgot about him. That's too bad. Okay, so we've got plenty of miners. I think that's a siege operator. I believe 6 is a siege operator. Yes, it is. We only have 1 woodcutter who is id. He hasn't done a lot of wood cutting recently. I'm not going to lie. It's because we haven't really had a need for him to do that. We could have Herdslayer go back to planting, but I think that there's too many dwarves that are planters right now. Fisher dwarves. We don't really have any plant gathering, so nobody does that. Everyone does the stone cutting. Everyone does the engraving. So many legendary and high master engravers. Gosh. Yeah. I'm actually pretty happy with that allocation. We've done a good job. So we got Sigyn going back in, and he's going to have some work to do once our manager gets Once our manager gets around to approving these jobs, they haven't approved these yet either. All right, we got to find another manager. I'm gonna give you till the 15th. If these jobs are not approved, then we have some issues that we need to talk about. We gave her military training, and then we turned around and made her manager. I should have known that wasn't going to work. Let's just keep an eye on that for a minute. Hey, we got a mood. A strange mood. It's Logum. A Sonorib. Withdrawing from society. Let's take a look here. Where did you withdraw from society? This must be you here. No? Let's keep an eye on him for a moment there. Peculiarly? Gosh, why is that so hard to say? Peculiarly secretive. What did you claim as your workshop here? It must be this. No, it's not that workshop. It's got to be one upstairs. He did grab some stone here, some phyllite stone, so it'll be a whale. A whale? It'll be a whale before he gets back up to his workshop. I think it's one of the. Is it crafting? Yeah, it's a craft shop. All right, well, we've got an artifact coming in. And he's currently gathering items. He's okay, so it must be this one here. Great, okay. Totally fine. That's a good thing. I totally forgot what I was doing before I was so rudely interrupted. Oh, yes. We need to change the manager. Again. Because it is the 7th. Has this been approved yet? Okay, they were approved. I'm still very concerned about this. Because you want to get those work orders going ASAP. Siggs is working on lead statues. I'm not going to give you any direction right now on what you need to work on, Sig, because that'll come later. When we start, actually needing you to build some of the statues that we need for this fortress. But right now, that should be more than sufficient. Whatever you'd like to build. Now, here's the other thing. If we look into labor... Okay, he's Yeah, got 8 out of 10 to go. Door in the golden of a boogeyman. Another door in the golden of a dwarf. Okay, he clearly is a worshiper of door in the golden, I think. I'm not maybe a betting man here, but yeah, Doran the Mole. Yeah, okay. He wants to be in the military. He wants martial training as well. So let's just go ahead and throw him in that second squad there. We'll need to continue to train him. But I do have it in my notes this time that he needs to be continued to be trained. It started out kind of slow, but this episode has gotten interesting. The Forgotten Beast, Arani Imeri, has come. An enormous hairy snail with thin wings of stretched skin. It belches and croaks. Beware of its noxious secretions. Nauseous secretions, huh? Alright, well, let's find out where this thing is at. And this is in the first cavern layer, interestingly enough. In fact, this thing can... How can it get to us? I know we have a lot of dwarves that are running up and down the shaft, so we're going to actually unpause the burrow. And we're going to add everybody back into it, 203 that are assigned. And this one seems killable. Irani the Ashen. Let's just follow him for a bit here. It looks like he's wandering. He doesn't have a clear path into the fortress, which is actually... I'm not super happy about that. I was kind of hoping to be able to bring him into the kill box. We've got a bunch of dwarves that are kind of itching for a fight. And the only way to do it is to bring him through here. Or maybe there's a way for him to come around. There's this tiny little path to squeeze through here. Looks like you can make it through. Oh, he definitely can get into the fortress. Yeah, let's let this play out just a little bit, and let's see if he comes back around. I'm pretty sure that he can't get through in this area. The naked mole dog over there still. Here he comes. Oh, no, he's stuck. I think. That might be the only way for him to come through. All right, well, he's lurking in this part of the caverns. And slowly, as this lake drains... Oh, no, he's decided... Where the heck did you go? Oh, I guess it is a snail with wings. We should check all of these areas right here, you guys. We do have the burrow turned on. But he has taken flight. And now he's going to swim around, I suppose. Definitely looking for a path in. And we'll certainly find one. Okay. I have panicked for a moment there because obviously he's exploring this lava area here. I'm not entirely certain what the next move is here. Irani. Okay. Back down into the water. Went really deep there for a moment. Guys found the entrance now. Oh. Buddy, the entrance is right here. Does it really want to find the entrance? Let's see. Yeah, all the doors are open. There we go. We gotcha. Okay, let's do some command and control here. Some space. This goes down here. Let's lock these doors. You're, of course, free to wander if you'd like, but we want to give him one clear path into the fortress, into the kill box, and now that we've got him captured, we can actually start setting up the squads in the kill box. Nauseous secretions, I think our dwarves can handle without issue. So we're going to put these guys here on station in this room here. And then we'll put our silvery hammers stationed right here. We're going to do this we're going to do this the old school way. And that is, we are going to wait. We're going to do it with weapons, without the machine guns. Oops, I locked the wrong set of doors. I'm so sorry, Amani. Oh my goodness, I gotta be careful here. Let's do that. Up you go. He's headed up, guys. He's headed up into the fortress. Get everybody ready to go and mustered here. Let's follow this guy as he rises. We'll deal with that in a moment. Very, very, very fast. Go on. In the door you go. Good beast. Just make sure we've got everybody in there. A straight yak cow. The fortress life has to go on, you guys. The fortress life must go on. Whoops. And we'll just give some of the remaining dwarves a moment to get in here. No, cat. Don't go inside. Thank you. They keep trickling in, too. So those are crossbow dwarves that are coming. So I think we can lock this door as well. And Amani, you're not locked in here. We're not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with us. But you know what's going to happen. We're going to start episode number 78 with a battle against Amani the Ashen, the hairy snail with noxious secretions. And right now, we're going to leave episode number 77 as it is. It's been an interesting one. It started off slow, and we've got some cool stuff that's about to happen. Cool stuff that did happen. Lots of kids in this episode. My gosh. Thanks for joining me here in Zuntergembisch, Anvilseal, for our Dwarf Fortress playthrough. As you go on about your day, don't forget to hit somebody with a little bit of kindness, and we'll see you next time.